Welcome to Truth and Company Boxing Podcast. I'm your host, John the Truth Dioria, and today we have another segment of 20 random questions. And our guest today is Minnesota's own, the Fighting Chihuahua, Hector Orozco. How you doing, Hector?
Yeah, how you doing, John? How's it going?
I'm great, man. I appreciate you taking time to come on the show.
No, no problem. No problem.
So I guess the first question is, you've been out of the ring for a little while. The Minnesota fans really don't know what you're up to these days. So do you have anything to do with boxing anymore, or is that just a chapter that you closed?
No, I still work. Every now and then, I still work with my old trainer, and he has some kids I work with. So I still go spar with, the team kids to help them kind of just get ready for some of their fights. I go to whatever gym, any gym that invites me to get their guys some southpaw work. I'm still involved in it. I can't, I'm not as quick as I am nor, but I still like to, still get in there with people. But that's about it. If I'm invited to a gym to get some sparring in with somebody, I'm always willing to go.
Well, that's cool though, man. That's good that you're still giving back and you're willing to help some of these younger guys come up the ranks, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, listen, are you ready for these random 20 questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Question 1. How did you get involved in the sport of boxing?
I was simple as my, like most kids, when I was 15, I was fight everywhere, from kindergarten all the way to high school. I was always getting fights there all the time. So pretty much my mom told my father that, you need to do something with your kid because he has too much aggression. First thing any dad would do is like, okay, well, fine, I'm taking boxing. That was it. I walked in my old trainer's gym, when I was about 15, and ever since then it just stuck with me. So yeah,
Okay.
mainly my mom telling my dad to do so much fun. He's too aggressive.
Okay, but you're not originally from Minnesota, so did you start boxing in Minnesota, or
No,
where you?
A lot of people don't know. So I was born in Chihuahua, Mexico, but I moved to Minnesota when I was about 4 years old. So I'm pretty much Minnesotan as you get. I've lived in Minnesota since I was about 4, and between New Hope and Hopkins, I'm pretty much Minnesotan. And that's where I started boxing. Was in Minnesota.
Okay. Question 2. Your favorite fight you were involved in your career?
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, I'll be honest. I think the best fights are obviously the fights I had with Jamal James. Those, two, 6-round fights I had. But I think the best experience I had was actually when I fought for Golden Boy the first time in Fantasy Springs Casino. I fought Hugo Centeno Jr. back when he was kind of up and coming. That was actually probably one of the best experiences and funnest fight I had, to be honest. I would say that was probably one of my best experience fights.
Okay. Question 3. Do you have any boxing superstitions?
I don't think I ever did. I never did anything routine before a fight, just warm up and. No, I really don't think I have many boxing superstitions, to be honest.
Okay. Question 4. Who is the one fighter that you never got to fight in your career that you really wanted to fight?
Ooh. Locally or just anybody?
No, anybody.
To be honest, I kind of wanted a rematch with Hugo Centeno again, Jr. I heard that fight. People thought I kind of was close. I won that fight or whatever, but I think Hugo Centeno Jr. would have been the one fight I wanted again. I really didn't think past that. I didn't think what other up and coming prospect, That was one fight thing I wanted back.
Question 5. Did you have a pre-fight meal that you always had to eat before fights?
Yeah. So it was always mornings pasta. Just get one little bowl of pasta in the morning, so by the fight time you're burning it up. But the spaghetti was probably my pre-fight meal. Spaghetti with a couple of meatballs.
Okay. Question 6. What is something that your boxing fans don't know about you?
I guess maybe they don't know that I grew up in Minnesota, actually. But a lot of them think I'm from Mexico and learned everything there, and I moved here. No, I grew up here. I'm a Minnesota boy. That's probably one thing I'll probably say they don't. They probably didn't know. They probably thought I was always, the Mexican kid from Mexico. Born there, but raised here.
All right. Question 7. Who is someone in your life that has inspired you outside of the sport of boxing?
I'll say my mother. She raised me by, she was a single mom growing up, raised me and my sister. So I think she inspires me all the time. Great work ethic, great attitude. Never, life's beat her up, but she never, once, holds a grudge on nothing. living life. So she's inspiring that way.
Okay. Question 8. If you wrote a book on your life in boxing, what would the title be?
Uh, I'll say the Fighting Chihuahua.
I had a feeling you were going to say that because that is actually a cool
The
title.
Fighting Chihuahua. That the nickname itself is just like, that can get people interested. What's this about?
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Like I told you off air, man, there's so many boxing nicknames in the world, and yours is actually one of my favorite because it's so original. Like you said, it's usually you hear pit bull or something big, but Chihuahuas are little dangerous, nasty dogs.
Yeah,
So,
they're aggressive too. I mean, that's boxing too. They're aggressive. I mean, you ever see a Chihuahua go up to a pit bull and try to take it on? It has no chance, but it doesn't know that. It doesn't care. It still tries.
it's kind of like you in the ring, huh? You just come after them. It don't matter.
I don't care how much bigger you are, or how much better you might.
All right, question 9. If you could have been a professional in any other sport, what sport would it have been?
Be honest, it's funny. I buy basketball. When I was a kid, I was into basketball before boxing. My dream was to be in the NBA, but I never took genetics in consideration. That I didn't have the genetics to be in the NBA. But I love I love basketball. That's probably my second favorite sport was basketball.
All right, question 10. Who's the one boxer, alive or dead, that you would want to sit down and have a conversation with if you could?
Alive, I'd probably say Manny Pacquiao. He was one of my favorites growing up. Just getting just him. I think he'll be just a good conversation. He'll be a good conversation. So, and as for dead, I think I would definitely want to talk to Hector Camacho Jr. I like Camacho Jr. Ever since he had my first name, I always liked him growing up.
Oh, you mean Hector Camacho?
I mean Hector Camacho
Senior.
Nah, I forgot this Junior. Yeah, Senior, the dad. I would love to have a cool conversation with him. He was one of my early favorite fighters.
All right, question 11. What is the most dangerous thing you've ever done besides boxing?
Damn. I'll be honest. I don't do a lot of dangerous stuff, but fighting. I went hiking once that I've never went hiking before, in an area that I don't know, so with no experience. I heard. I guess that can turn out bad if you go hiking.
Yeah. If you fall down a ravine,
fall down.
Nobody knows where you are.
Yeah, I did that for one time. 8 miles with no experience for the hell of it. I guess that could have been no bear spray, nothing.
All right. Let's see. Question 12. What is your favorite food?
I gotta say, I actually like Mexican seafood. As mariscos. So I'll say seafood, but it's got to be like a certain, from a certain region of Mexico. That's actually my favorite, which is mostly like the southern part of Mexico. That's about my favorite.
Question 13. If you could steal anything and get away with it, what would you steal?
Well, like $100 billion.
Okay. Yeah. That was pretty quick. You didn't even have to think about that.
But because $100 billion can buy you everything else.
All right. Question 14. If you could have a conversation with any animal and it could talk back to you, what animal would you want to have a conversation with?
I'd say my dog, just because sometimes I wonder what the hell he's thinking or looking at. And then he's almost like he's talking to you with his eyes. So I'd say my dog, just curious to see what he's got to say.
All right. Question 15. What movie or TV series could you watch over and over?
Oh, I'm one of them Game of Thrones nerds. I watched that. I think I watched the whole 9 seasons. I think 4 times already, so I can probably do that.
Now are you watching that new series that came out?
Yeah, House of Dragons. I am. It's okay. It's not as good as a Game of Thrones, but it's intriguing me enough to keep, because I like that kind of stuff. So it's doing good.
Okay, so now we learned that you're a nerd today too. Is that
Game of Thrones nerd? I guess
but a nerd that can fight.
Yeah, no, that's it. Nerds are nerds, but if a nerd can fight, he can fight. It doesn't matter. I always don't pick on the nerd. You never know what he can do.
All right. Question 16. What's something that you're very passionate about?
Um, I'll say I'm still very passionate about boxing. I mean, I watched the fight last night. I watch all the fights coming up. I keep up with whatever who's the next star right now, the next prospect. I'm still very passionate about boxing.
Is there anything outside of boxing that you're pretty passionate about?
My boys, I got two sons. Just doing stuff with them, I didn't get to do. So that's about just my boys and making sure they're doing good and growing up fine.
Okay, question 17. If you could be any bird, what bird would you want to be?
What is I forgot? I forgot what it's called. It's that falcon that's the fastest bird in the world, the
Oh,
fastest animal in the world. It can dive down up to like 200 miles an hour. I forgot what
okay,
it's a falcon, but I don't know the exact name of it. But I'll say
okay.
that falcon.
Question 18. I don't know if you're a football fan at all, but if you had a Super Bowl party and you could invite one NFL player over to watch the Super Bowl with you from past or present, what player would you invite over for your Super Bowl party?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm a football fan for sure. I would say Barry Sanders. I like him.
Okay.
Yeah, Barry Sanders.
I thought maybe you'd say Kirk Cousins because we know they ain't never going to be in a Super Bowl, so you could
Uh,
invite him over.
no, I don't. I don't. Hey, we might. Man. I don't know if we will with him, but maybe. But no, not Kirk Cousins. I don't. I can go to. I can just go to the game and see him. I don't need to invite him over enough.
Okay. Question 19. So, do you have any traditions in your family?
Yeah, same old. Hispanic traditions. Grew up in Minnesota, but we're still pretty Mexican.
Well, yeah, but tell me about some of them. The fans might not know what they are.
We still, we'll have a Cinco de Mayo party. And a lot of times nowadays it evolves around Canelo because the boxing. So always have we'll still celebrate. A Cinco de Mayo party. It's a big deal. Birthdays are still a big deal for us. We do it the same way. Piñatas. Great food, seafood, ceviche, pozole. So just and yeah, the other one, Mexican Independence Day, will be another one.
Okay. All right, question 20. Who was the hardest puncher you've ever faced in the ring in a fight or sparring?
I'll say the hardest puncher definitely was my last fight. I think Sammy Vasquez. He was a prospect before. He was doing pretty good till he got really hurt by Luis Colazo. But that dude punched hard. Yeah, he dropped me 3 times in that fight, and he never even hit me in the face, but he hit me on the top of the head a lot, and that was one of the hardest thuds I ever felt on my head. I made it the whole 6 rounds with him though. He didn't knock me out, but that was kind of the worst beating I ever took, and he hit hard.
Okay. Well, listen, Hector, man, I like the fact that you were willing to come on, man, and be fun with the 20 questions. And if you got anything to say to the fans or anybody before we end the show, go ahead.
Well, no, I'm glad. Thank you for having me, man. I'm glad that if I still got fans out there, thank you. You'll still see me around. The next fights that I have at that downtown Armory, I'll be there. So just thank you for everybody. Thanks for all the support you did back then too. Thanks for all the love. Glad to see you doing good and everything doing good, man. But I'm glad to see Minnesota fighters are doing good for Jamal and Caleb.
All right, and with that, the truth has spoken.